Hello, and welcome to a feminist episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. In this episode, I am proud to announce Meghan Robertson, owner of Meg's Drywall out of Owen Sound, Ontario. Meghan has a habit of saying yes and finds herself on several committees aimed at making her community better. We talk a bit about that stuff, but we also talk about how she started her own business in a male-dominated space.
I had quit college, so we were out for dinner one night with his boss, and his boss said, I need workers. And I said, well, I hate my job. Can I try? And he actually said, well, you're a girl. You can't do it.
Right.
And I was like, what? No, I'm a girl. I can do anything. My parents told me I can do anything. So, yeah,
you're a girl. You can't do it.
Yeah. Like, what do you
mean? Men only. Sorry.
So he gave me a chance and he told me if I could lift a box of mud, I was hired.
Oh, brother.
So I carried 25 boxes of mud up to the second story of a house.
Stupid.
And I started working from then.
This month's podcasts are brought to you by Platformer Solutions. You can listen to me talk with Shane Larson about the Platformer on episode 16 of the Drywall Podcast. Don't sacrifice your life with knockoffs or 2x4s out of the dumpster. Go with the name that started it all, the Platformer. Ask your local distributor or order online at www.platformersolutions.com. In fact, if you order in the month of February and use promo code PODCAST, you can get $100 off your order. The Drywall Podcast is also brought to you by Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. Now available at CSR Online. I'm excited for this episode of the Drywall Podcast. Meghan and I have a fantastic conversation, and I'm anxious for you to hear it on this, the 36th episode of the Drywall Podcast. Let's get into it. I'll bust a word like rubbish, too, that is totally English. But do they say rubbish? Do they say rubbish in Canada?
Some do, yeah. Yep.
I like rubbish.
Yeah.
But that's a soccer sort of reference.
Yeah. Very British.
Because there's that European influence. They say for fuck's sake, and they say rubbish. I like both those.
Yeah.
But we've got Meghan Robertson of Meg's Drywall with us on the Drywall Podcast, and now we've gotten a little bit comfortable. So that's good. You're funny. I'm funny. I'll razz you a little bit about the the women's thing, but not too much because my niece recently graduated from the University of Washington, and she is very much an activist for women's rights and these types of things as well.
Yeah, it's important now. In construction especially, we don't have enough staff. Like there aren't enough workers, and if we're not showing women we can do it, where do we get more workers from? Yeah.
So I started out, we read through a little bit. Meghan was she's from Owen Sound, Ontario, and she was recently, would you say, featured in the Sun Times? Is that a feature article? Okay. Yeah. And the article is about powerful women in the community, women who make a difference. And so is this a weekly article?
Monthly.
Okay, so only 12 a year. There's only enough powerful women for 12 a year.
I live in a small town,
Oh, that's true. That's true too. Yeah. So inside of the article, there's a little bit here that I wanted to say about Meghan, that the article states. Meghan has participated on Owen Sound City committees such as Operations and Heritage Housing. She is currently on the Committee Services Committee. She is on the
board. There's a correction to that, actually. They actually just changed it, and I'm staying on the Operations Committee.
You're staying on the Operations Committee. Okay, good. How many extracurricular activities would you say you have currently, and are you spread too thin with those and your workload? 2.
No,
okay.
Currently I have 2, and most of them happen at night. So it doesn't interfere with my day job. And if it did, I would probably put one aside because I don't like to stretch myself too thin. I have done that in the past. So.
Yeah, I can tell because you are. I want to keep going here. She is on the board for the Makerspace program at the Sydenham campus, which provides support for students as creators and makers. She also recently ran for a city councilor position, and although that was not successful, she will try again because she's a go-getter. Meghan has participated on the Badiga Wad. That's a fun word to say, very hard to pronounce. Alliance board, and supports women's initiatives by being a guest speaker at the Elect. Her initiative to help women understand how to run in municipal elections. She also contributed by being a member of the Elect, her organizing group. So you were a founding member of this program, Elect. Tell me a little bit about that. You and some women got together and you were like, let's help women get more involved.
2 women came to me and asked if I wanted to be involved with it. And I absolutely said yes, because it's something close to my heart. And yeah, we teach women how to run and how to run it successfully, because there isn't really a booklet to tell you how to do it. More men run for city politics than women. So to get a better diverse council and to get different ideas coming forward, you need women on council. So we created a toolbox for them.
And you were telling me there's a difference between the politics in Canada versus the United States. For our United States listeners, please give us like a little bit of a difference between like state and, how that is organized.
So in Canada, we have municipal politics, which is our cities. So they take care of the services for our cities. There are county politics too. So every city is in a county, and they fund the different cities in their county. And then there's provincial government, which gives money to all the provinces. So each province has its own budget and they fund healthcare and education and things like that. And then we have our federal government, which basically gives money to all the provinces so that they can fund their initiatives.
Okay. Would you say, here's a challenging question. Would you say that Canada does it better than the United States?
Oh, that's not a fair question.
Okay.
You have so many American listeners.
No, I really don't. Not compared to Joe Rogan. Give me a break.
I think yes, because our education and healthcare are free.
Yeah.
So instead of having to pay, we pay higher taxes than you. That's the thing.
Okay.
So in our taxes, we pay employment insurance. So if we have to go off work, the government gives us money to stay home. We also pay CPP, which is a pension plan. So when we stop working at a certain age, then we get some of that money back for a pension. So we get so much a month until we die.
Okay.
But our taxes also go to fund our healthcare. So when you guys go to the hospital, you don't know what it's going to cost you when you leave, and how are you going to pay for that? We don't have to think about it.
We have to buy insurance. I've got, my wife and I are both entrepreneurs. We have to buy insurance. If you want to be an entrepreneur in the United States, if you're working for a company, then you can get health insurance through that company. Yeah. But if you're an entrepreneur, that is definitely a killing arrow,
Yeah. One of the things that we do is we have benefits. So my company, I wanted to make sure I could keep good employees. So I have benefits. So they have dental coverage and eye care coverage and pharmaceutical coverage. So,
why do you want good employees?
Well, everybody wants good employees.
Yeah. You got to take care of your employees.
I love the States. I've only been to so many, but Canada is so big and beautiful, and we have such a different, it's just so neat here. I can't complain. I love being Canadian.
What's your favorite part about Canada?
There is no favorite part. Like, I've been out to the East Coast and it's just amazing. It's beautiful. I've been out to British Columbia where the mountains are, and like, it's just spectacular what you see. And then even in my area, like, we have ski hills about an hour away, and then we have beaches 30 minutes away. So we sort of have all seasons here. You get the best of every world.
Cool. Are you a skier?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore?
Well, I got to use my body for work.
Yeah, we have a fun fact. Santa Fe is an hour and a half away from Albuquerque, and it's a fantastic ski mountain.
Yeah, I've heard that actually.
Yeah, 7,000 feet elevation.
Yeah.
So Albuquerque's at 5,000. We're pretty high up. A little balmy out there today. People think I live in like the desert, but it's, we get winters.
Yeah.
It's a high desert. What's that?
Not like my winters. We're the third highest snowfall amount in Canada where I live.
Oh, you get a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, we've already had 6 feet. It's come and gone. It's been a weird winter.
You had
3 feet.
You had a heavy one early on there.
Yeah. And then we had a blizzard just on Christmas.
That's kind of cool though, White Christmas, right?
Yeah, I've only ever had one green Christmas. Sorry, 2. One when I went to Florida and one here.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Destination. We went to Berlin and Prague for Christmas. We did the Christmas markets about a little over a year ago. And that was it was cool. It was kind of cool to get out during Christmas. But those Christmas markets in Germany are just spectacular. Something else.
I've heard that, yeah.
So you're very active. Your current company, Meg's Drywall, you said you didn't have 25 people. Meg's Drywall had 25 people at one time?
Previous company.
The previous company. What company was that, if you don't mind?
Would you want me to just tell you the story? Do you want to have story time?
It's a podcast.
So
we love stories.
When I started drywalling, my then boyfriend, now current ex-husband.
You can listen to this entire podcast on your favorite platforms such as Podbean, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and also YouTube. Special thanks to Meghan Robertson for being with us on the Drywall Podcast today. I appreciate your time. It was an absolute pleasure. Shout out to the Platformer Solutions for sponsoring the Drywall Podcast this month. You can catch Shane Larson's podcast episode 16 on the Drywall Podcast. Don't sacrifice your life with knockoffs or 2x4s out of the dumpster. Go with the name that started it all, the Platformer. Also, ask your local distributor or order online at www.platformersolutions.com. You can order in the month of February and use promo code podcast and get $100 off of your order. How cool is that? Be sure to tune into the Drywall Podcast every Friday for a new episode. Next week we have Royce Lennox and Stephen Brown with the 3-way on the show. That's going to be awesome. Until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And remember, keep drywalling.